Typhoon Wipha has struck with devastating fury, a tropical storm that has transformed into an atmospheric monster, uprooting roofs, raising 7-meter waves, and threatening millions of people in China and Vietnam. We are facing one of the most powerful storms of the year in Southeast Asia. And now, we'll tell you everything, scene by scene. Wipha, also known as Vietnam Storm Number 3, formed over the warm waters of the South China Sea with impressive speed. Already by the evening of July 18th, satellites were warning winds exceeding 117 kilometers per hour, gusts of magnitude 14, and rough seas. Its trajectory was clear. It was heading toward Hong Kong, Macau, and finally the Chinese province of Guangdong. On the night between July 19th and 20th, Wipha grazed Hong Kong and Macau with torrential rains and gale-force winds. Some areas reported power outages and transportation disruptions. At sea, waves exceeding 7 meters forced commercial ships and fishing vessels to turn around. Ports were closed as a precaution. Radar reported sudden squalls and rapidly worsening seas, while dozens of fishing boats battled the waves to return to port. Some narrowly escaped. Others were stranded in the open sea for hours. Radio communications were unstable, disrupted by the wind and pouring rain, and tension on board was palpable. On July 20th, in the early hours of the morning, the typhoon made landfall in western Guangdong. Wind gusts exceeded 130 kilometers per hour, ripping roofs off homes and downing power poles. Local authorities declared it an extreme weather event and evacuated more than 50,000 people from coastal villages. In some areas, over 200 millimeters of rain fell in less than 6 hours. But Wipha didn't stop. After devastating the Chinese coast, the storm surged into the Gulf of Tonkin, pushing toward northern Vietnam. According to the National Meteorological Center in Hanoi, its path is headed straight for the provinces of Quang Ninh, Thanh Hoa, and Nghe An. In mountainous provinces like Lao Cai and Son La, torrential rain is already saturating the ground. In just 3 hours, some areas have received 150 millimeters of rain, enough to cause rivers to overflow and inundate entire villages. Residents are seeking shelter in schools and public buildings. The night became dangerous. The thunderstorms brought by Wipha intensified, especially along the coast and in cities. Lightning, ice flakes, and sudden gusts made the nighttime hours a nightmare for thousands of families. In Enjiang and Cao Bao, rainfall exceeded 60 millimeters, well before the storm center arrived. Hanoi, Haiphong, and all major cities in the north are on red alert. Aging water infrastructure is at risk of collapse. Emergency teams are setting up evacuation centers. Power outages, urban landslides, and transportation disruptions are already a reality in many areas. The Mekong Delta could also be affected if Wipha's path shifts further south. Typhoon Wipha is no longer just a threat. It is a devastating reality, a brutal reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of our cities in the face of climate change. In just a few days, millions of people have gone from normality to chaos. Southeast Asia now faces a dual challenge: surviving the storm and rebuilding what has been destroyed. Stay connected for real-time updates. And above all, if you are in the affected areas, follow the authorities' instructions and put safety first. The storm will pass, but what we do now can make a difference.